What's up, guys? My name is Jamar Jabari, and welcome back to the Jabari VOC podcast. And just like I promised, that we're going to have a week of awesome artists, black artists within the scene of hardcore punk and post metal scenes. I got my boy here, Richard. Richard,
Hey, how's it
how's it
going,
going, man?
guys? Well, I guess somebody can respond, but hey, it's Richard here.
Hey, Richard, how's you doing, bro? How's everything?
I'm doing all right, man. Well rested. I think this is like the first Saturday I can think of in a while where I didn't have anything to do in the morning. And I got to sleep in. I guess sleeping in on a Saturday for me is sleeping in till 10. Because yeah, I don't know, capitalism's kind of like whack. It's like you work 9 to 5, or for me 9 to 6 all week long. You can't go to the doctors during the week because you have work during the week, and the doctors also work 9 to 5. So you got
Right.
to push everything to, you think Saturday you just relax. Nah, man. Saturdays are busy. You condense everything into those 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and everything's closed on Sunday. So I'm feeling good, man. I'm rested for once. It's lit.
Word. Do you think that we should do like just off of you talking about Saturdays and stuff, do you think that we should do like a 3 day work week? Not 3 day, but like a 4 day work
4 day,
week, so
right?
we can
Yeah,
have like a
3 days
3 day
sounds
weekend.
crazy. It'd be great, but it doesn't sound too practical. I don't think companies in America will ever go for that. I know companies in other countries do, or at least
Yeah,
governments in other countries do. But I don't know. The way America works with the capitalism thing, they don't care about how you're doing. It's funny. I was just told my priorities are off because I'm trying to get Monday off to return to the studio in New York and record
right.
some new songs. And my boss kind of like
Nice.
left me on scene, which is weird because usually they're really good with my time off request, but he hasn't answered me yet. And I was told my priorities were off because I'm more interested in going to the studio than work. Obviously my boss didn't tell me this, but somebody else told me this. And
Oh
it's like,
no.
I guess people and corporations, I guess we have this idea that we should like live and die to make money, but for what? What is this for? So
Right.
basically, we should live and die for this company. I used to work at Cumberland Farms, the gas station, and you could die and they'd call your mom, be like, yo, I'm sorry for your loss. If you got somebody to cover his shift, you know?
What?
So yeah, they would definitely, they don't care what happens to you as long as it's all about their interest. I feel like these companies don't really serve your interests. They provide something that you need to get by. They provide money. I feel like if anything, you're probably more valuable to them than they are to you because half these places are paying you like $10 an hour to live.
Yeah, fact.
I'm fortunate enough to have gone through school. I got a really good job, but a lot of these places want you to bend over backwards. I guarantee you, people at Walmart have to work harder than I do.
Oh
All
yeah.
right,
Oh yeah. I
and
agree.
they're getting paid pennies. But if anything, the company needs them more than we need them. But
Oh
they're
yeah.
not. So yeah, they got us. They have this whole grind mindset. I see people waking up every day posting on Snapchat, rise and grind, gonna work my 2 jobs today. I got a friend that works 80 hours a week, literally. I'm not
Oh man,
joking.
I was one of those. I
Yeah,
was one of
and
those guys.
they think it's part of this mentality where like if they just work super hard in this hamster wheel, they'll get forward. And I feel like the it's like, listen, bro, the whole you're in a wheel, the system, all of it. It's like, and I'm not an economist. I don't really know how this stuff works. That's more my brother's thing. He's graduating with a degree in political science and econ this
Nice.
year. But from what I can see, is a 4 weekday week would be great. But for us, I don't know about them. I hear in other countries, it makes workers more productive,
Oh yeah,
apparently, and the
man.
quality of life improves. But
Yeah.
I feel like American companies are just fine exploiting us until we break and die. How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, shout out to the Amazon workers because they are actually leading the cause in the forefront with unionizing, especially Alabama. I definitely agree with all this. I can just go down and name countries that for hours probably. I even look it up and see what countries are doing what we don't even know what they're doing. But you're it's definitely right, and this type of struggle fits also into music as well too, because while workers are being exploited, us as artists are also being exploited. I was
Every
talking
day.
with oh yeah, I was talking with my last conversation I had at the bar Rudy's with a good brother by Upton who I did a podcast with. He was just explaining about the struggle with his band, how they basically just made a website without them even telling them, and they started like getting money off of the streams from the website that they made for his band, and he never saw any of that. And then when
Oh,
they
that's
tried to say
wild.
something, yeah, when they tried to say something, the label literally was like, "Well, you guys signed this form," and when you see in the broader span, Spotify is doing that now. You know, they collect a pool of money from all the streams we get. And your band is popular. You have like 2,000 followers on Facebook. My band has like a 1,500, so we're about 500 less. But the thing is, like both of us literally have fans. I we get streams almost every single day, and no one is seeing that money in my band. No, and
Yeah.
Spotify is just giving that pool out to like famous artists like Drake. So basically, Drake is getting your money, artists, when you upload on Spotify. Drake is getting your money. Taylor Swift is getting your money. It's like you gotta
Taylor Swift
literally.
herself, actually. Taylor Swift is working on our site. Her music wasn't available on Spotify for a while.
Oh, really?
Like when we, yeah, like she was really pissed off about the whole royalty thing. Like,
Yeah.
and for a
See.
while I was thinking,
Yeah.
why don't these labels? Because the labels also get money from this too. Why aren't these labels fighting for higher royalties or more royalties? The labels
Right.
own Spotify. They actually own, like, I think like Sony owns like 8% of Spotify, and then there's Warner, UMG. You know,
Right.
so they're all in cahoots. I know I'm making it sound like a conspiracy theory, but like
Oh
this is
no.
fact. They do own a significant. I feel like 8% of $1 billion company. Spotify is a lot. I'm actually gonna go look that up real quick.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
Master P was talking about it on the Breakfast Club with because they already have a SAG union for actors. And the SAG
yeah,
union is very effective in like just helping actors on their lives. You know, they need healthcare, they need housing, they need a guaranteed income. And yes, it's
yeah.
hard to get in, but once you get in, you're good. That's something that artists need as well too. Artists, bands, everybody in the music world needs that, and
Oh,
the
it's
money
crazy
is
when,
there to
yeah,
do it.
when COVID hit, there's some bands, me, I'm a huge fan of Census Fail. I mean, there are
Yeah, great
bands
shit.
like Fall Out Boy. These guys are like they're like borderline celebrity. Well, they are celebrities. In 2005, you can go to the grocery store without seeing a People's or a Teens magazine saying, "Who's Pete Wentz dating now?" I mean, this guy's a
Right.
celebrity. He's made. But you got like bands like Census Fail. They're sitting under. You're talking about us at 2,000 followers, 2,000 listeners on Spotify, and me, to me, in the grand scheme of things, that's like we're a fraction. That's a small percentage. You have people like Census Fail. They're sitting under just 1 million, and this
Yep.
guy's working at a bar right now to make ends meet for his family.
See,
Right
yeah,
now
that's
with
crazy.
COVID, yeah. And
That should have been.
the way this stuff works, man. So Taylor Swift is actually in our corner with the, I don't know if she folded and sold out. I haven't kept up with that drama in a while.
Oh
I
no,
just heard
I
about it.
just dropped her name because I was just trying to give an idea of how who the money they do give it to, like artists as big as like Taylor Swift, they
But
give
yeah, that is
yeah.
definitely, yeah. So I think you make like what less than 1 cent. It's like
Yeah.
a hundredth of a cent or something like that. It's insane, bro. I actually looked at my royalties a while ago, and it was like, I don't know, like $300 from Spotify, and I'm like, all right. To be honest,
Okay. Yeah.
personally, I'm not losing my mind over royalties just yet.
Yeah. That's
Because
fair
I'm not
enough.
in a position where I make my bread and butter off of music. At this point, I'm in a position where I pay for my music rather than my music paying
Right.
me. But
Yeah.
there are definitely some people, like I said, like the guys in Census Fail. You think, man, these guys are huge. They must be set. No,
Right.
dude. My
Right.
guy worked at a bar. I follow him on a spa on Instagram, and he was talking about how after this album, Pull the Thorns from Your Heart flopped because all the fans, including myself, kind of hated it. And the band quit on him. He was working at a bar and just trying to make it. Like, these guys are not balling like you think. You would think. So, your Spotify, your streams aren't really going to pay these guys like you think.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like as an artist, you have to have other business ventures. I feel like it's easy
Yes.
to get mad at the system, and believe me, a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys don't take this the wrong way, but actually, I feel like we just need to learn and adapt in a way. There are bands like Periphery. There's a page I follow on YouTube, the Punk Rock MBA. If you haven't checked it out, I feel like you would really love it. because he doesn't just
I
talk
know what
about
you're
music.
talking
He
about.
talks about the business, the industry, and he also has a marketing channel too, because that's what he does. His whole thing is marketing. So I guess he got to start working as a marketer for bands and people like A Day to Remember. He would run marketing campaigns for them, and that's how you
Nice.
learn this stuff. But he was saying, Periphery has they have got a software company that they make money from. They've got guitar endorsements. They do lessons. They use their band to open up avenues. They have like a coffee brand. Like, what the hell? Who says I
So
want coffee from that guy in that band? But hey, it's giving them money, more money than Spotify.
yeah, yeah, that's fucking dope. And let's talk about your band. So I know you from Stratford. During my late teens, we used to hang out with George and all. Shout out to George. Rest in peace to Marco. And But
Yeah.
how did you guys start? You know what I mean? Like how did Pull the Curtain start coming into motions? Is that your brother, by the way? That's the lead singer because you guys look a little bit favorable.
Yeah, that is definitely my brother. God
Yo,
damn it,
he's a
that's my
beast,
brother.
by the way. I would love to
Oh,
meet
thank
him.
you. Yeah, you would actually very much enjoy him. He's like 20 times more woke than I am. Anything I say that might sound smart, it's just a watered down version of something he told me while I was trying to write a song. Um, yeah. So with the band, I had this old metalcore band, and we had a falling out. It didn't really work out too well.
Right.
And I it didn't really matter because I'm not that big into metalcore. I was more into I grew up on pop punk. I'm really
Yep.
into, Sum 41. It's my favorite band. We named the band after them. My
Mine too,
Chemical
by the way. Mine
Romance,
too.
Fall Out Boy. And then like later on, because of George, people like George, and stuff like that, they introduced me to like Escape the Fate. And then like this love for
Yeah.
post-hardcore just grew. And I joined the metal band because that was all I could join at the time. I joined with, some of my best friends at the time, and they let me join even though I didn't even own a guitar. I could not play guitar. They let me join anyway, and we sucked, dude. We sucked so bad. When that broke up, I wanted to, and I couldn't. Again, I sucked more than anything. I couldn't write my own music. I couldn't write. So I was getting ready to give up, honestly, and I started seeing this guy. There was a band that we were supposed to have a show with. The band was
Right.
Currents, but our drummer got into an accident. He was in the hospital at the time, so we had to drop off the show. But I went to the show anyway, and I met this guy, Chris Wiseman, the lead guitarist of the band Currents. Currents, this guy was easily like the best guitar player in Connecticut, but he was so humble. He was like the nicest dude, still is the nicest dude. And I'm trying to get work off right now because I'm trying to get back to his studio on Monday because that's where we record now. But I hit him up and he did lessons, and then I started driving out to his place in West Hartford, and he would just teach me music theory and teach me how to write. And like I've reached out to a lot of people, a lot of friends have tried showing me how music theory and all this stuff works, but I've
Right.
got a learning disability and I've never really picked up anything quickly. And for some reason, when this guy drops a concept, it makes sense to me. I
That's
guess it's the
amazing.
way you teach. We've all had teachers that are like they're great people, but man, do they suck at explaining calculus. All right, I'm sorry, Miss Gilday, you have a heart of gold, but you suck at the teacher. But he was able to get me to a point where I could write my own. I could write these songs on my own, and I couldn't find bandmates that were into this stuff. In Connecticut, at the time there was a lot of metalcore bands and deathcore bands and
Oh yeah,
slam
man.
bands and things like that, but nobody wanted to play like Alisana type music with me. Nobody was interested in doing that. Nobody was interested in Census Fail or Under Oath. So I realized if
Great
I
band, by the
wanted
way.
that
Under
sound.
Oath. I love Under Oath.
Yes, one of my favorites, one of my biggest influences, but I'm sure you could hear that in the EP. I
Yeah.
realized if I wanted to make this goal happen, another thing is also finding people that are committed. So many people wasted my time, my guy. You don't understand. It was
Yeah.
heartbreak. I almost quit so many times. I realized
Yeah.
that if I wanted to make this happen, I had to do it quite literally all on my own. But the only thing I could not do was sing. So I went to the studio with Wiseman. I wrote and recorded this album, this EP. The only other person that helped write this thing instrumentally was Wiseman, because as a producer, it's your job to take whatever the artist is getting you and really bring out the absolute best. So this, I can't write drums or bass or whatever, so he handled that, and he added some touches. We put this product together. I go to him. I'm like, here's my song. He throws some drums on it, and boom, it was like magic was happening. But I can't sing, and I tried again. I figured now that I just paid for keeping this stuff ain't cheap, bro. I just paid for
Yeah.
this record. I got all the instrumentals. That should be super easy to find somebody now, right?
Right.
Still, no. I met this one guy. I was trying to get him to work with me, but like he was inconsistent. He was more interested in my friend than anything, like dating my friend. So he like low key like used me for that. And then I was still trying to like work with them, but he would just like waste my time, but like still keep me around to get to this person. It actually ended up really bad. This guy like punched a hole in his door the day I met him. So there's a lot of egos, but not a lot of talent, I feel, when it comes to singing. Like he literally said, I'm the best vocalist in Connecticut. You know,
Right.
that was
What?
those are his exact words. His
But you just
exact
said
words.
you can't sing though, so how can you say that?
Oh no, he could sing. He could sing, but like the point
Oh,
is, like, he was just so arrogant, and he
okay.
was a huge waste of time. But he's just one of the examples of the many people that wasted my time
Yeah.
along the way. And then eventually, like my brother's been singing his whole life. It came down to the point where I was like, damn it, I'm desperate. I don't really get along with my family too well. We don't, especially at the time, we didn't have a good relationship. I'm sure you know families can be very, 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 very complicated, especially in the
Yeah.
Black community. So
Oh yeah.
he was definitely my last option, but the kid actually came through for me. He used to make fun of me for wanting to be a musician. We all know musicians don't make money. Nobody thought I had what it took either. Keep in mind, up until recently, I couldn't write music myself. I had to go get
Right.
lessons for that. So, this is the kid who kind of like teased me for wanting to be in a band. And then I showed him these songs, and like for the first time, I had something good to show him. And he was like, damn. So the music
Right.
changed his mind, and then he started singing on it. We wrote the lyrics together, and we started recording. And then I was like, "You little bastard! You like low key enjoy it. You're having fun." So now he's all in on this, and he's loving it. So there we go, boom, our little family band, me and my brother, and then we just recruited the rest of the guys, and now it's just three of us. We had a drummer and a guitar player. The guitar player was like a good friend of mine, but it didn't really work out. There was some conflict between him and the drummer. And we
Spots.
just, yeah, exactly. So we just felt it was best to just walk away from them both. And then what happened, it was actually something magical, in my opinion. I feel like this is a good thing because now this is purely coincidence, but the last remaining member happens to be Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
So before we
Love
were
how it's
like,
people of color just showing how we just got roots in this shit, man.
yeah.
Just going back to the roots.
So we accidentally ended up 100. We started off mostly people of color, mostly POC. Now we're 100% POC, and the band chemistry works so much better now. Like I was butting heads with these guys before. I was the only one putting in money. We had different influences, everybody's egos. Musicians are very emotional people, I'm sure,
Oh,
as you
yes, we
know.
are. Yes, we
So
are.
like their egos, their pride, all this stuff comes out, and it sometimes can be very counterproductive. And all of that's gone now. Like me and Vincent, like our musical influences, all of his favorite things about music are probably like the sounds that I hate the most. Yet somehow we can still coexist now. We can work. The three of us, Colin, Vincent, and I love the dynamic right now. I love the chemistry. I wish one of us could play drums because I don't know how the hell we're gonna play shows without one. But I'm
You'll
loving it,
find a
bro.
guy. You'll
Yeah,
find a
we'll
guy.
get we'll get a fill in.
When I saw Escape the Fate, they had to get this was when Max Green just left. They had to get the guitarist from the bass player from Alisana to do this show one time. You know what I mean? So
Oh damn,
you'll
love
find
that guy.
somebody.
Yeah,
You'll
Shane,
find
right?
somebody.
Yeah. I've seen Alessandro like 2 or 3 times. One time they actually let me on stage to do vocals with them.
Yeah, Shane's
Those dudes are so freaking dope, dude.
oh, I haven't met them yet. I want to meet them.
Uh, I wouldn't say that I met them either, but I mean, like they hang around after the show. You know what I mean? They're not like rock
Yeah,
stars, with the attitude, the pay me $100 to go meet me backstage for 4 minutes
right,
so we could take a selfie. They'll hang by the fucking. They'll hang by the merch table, man. They're solid dudes,
right.
in my
That's
opinion.
band culture right there because like even when we do shows, we don't leave right away. We just stay back, talk to people. I love going to Brooklyn. Brooklyn and Manhattan is my favorite places, and you just meet so many great people. You know who is a genuine person when they just do a fucking kick ass set, and then they just chill back and talk to people. Like it shows that they're not egotistical motherfuckers. The
Because
ones that
people do that. They take off, man. They
yeah, they
leave.
do. Especially in the rap industry. When I was just trying to solely work on rapping, oh my god, it was so hard just to vibe with any of these motherfuckers. Like they were just all just out after. And
Yeah,
then they,
good set, bro. And then they take off. You're like, yo, what the hell, man? Like, you're not gonna
yeah,
stay for my set.
I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Like,
Hey, that stuff is whack. I kind of get it. Like, there have been some times where like I've gone to shows and there are bands on tour and they're from like they're way out. They're really far out, and they just gotta leave at a certain time to get back.
yeah,
But then like, man, I don't even want to. I had this one band, and I didn't have this band. I used to play with this band, and I'm friends with the lead singer of this band. But man, they would play a show and then smoke outside and not support. You know what I mean?
yeah,
While
that's
other
awful.
bands are, they would just like dip. And again, like really cool dude. I love this guy. One the I will say he has one of the best voices I have ever heard. Right. I'm not going to give out names though because I just told on him for smoking while other bands are playing. But
Oh no,
the guy's definitely
you don't
got
have to give out
talent.
names.
Um, obviously that was years ago. We were like younger. We were like 19 at the time. You know what I mean? Like we were like kids basically. So like the attitude has changed since then. I doubt he's still smoking blunts instead of supporting the other acts. But yeah, that stuff is kind of lame, man. You got to support. You got to hang around because sometimes when you play a show, the only people there are the other artists playing the damn show.
Right.
So if you leave, then there goes the crowd, bro.
It goes the crowd, and I think that's so important to like, because that's what I like about poets. Poets are adjacent from musicians, unless they really shouldn't be, but it's still a separate culture. But poets stick around. Like I don't really see any poets leaving or anything. They stick around. They support other poets. They even give other poets tips and shit before they go on. Like it's the most like beautiful culture of performance I ever saw. But Lord and behold, I can hardly see that when it comes to musicians and stuff.
That's how you
Not
foster a scene, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
so
Like I feel like a scene is really important.
yes, definitely. And it also inspires other young people. You don't know who you can touch in that room, you know? You can touch somebody just by sticking around and stuff. Especially like I remember when I saw Mayday Parade and Derek, Derek wouldn't go to the merch table, so I was just so mad about that. But then I saw him again and I was like, "Oh, he is a nice guy. He is a good perception." That just like inspired me to write three more songs in that same weight.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I do understand the idea of like selling the VIP because that's enough. That like I was saying, with the way these labels work. Because I've been listening to a lot of business podcasts. With the cuts, there's so many expenses that the band has to cover and stuff like that. So many
Yeah,
ways that the money gets split. That like even the money from like the show isn't really enough. You gotta sell a lot of merch. Did you know when you play a show and you sell merch, the venue gets 30% of whatever you sell. So you buy a $20 t-shirt from the band, they might be getting like, $15 from it, $17. They won't be getting they're not getting all that money.
right.
So the VIP is something that really helps them. So it's like I try not to get too salty about that because again, like once you start looking at how things work from the inside, it kind of changes how. And I'm not on the inside. I do know I do have a friendship with Chris who kind of tells me, oh, he'll give me a little bit of insight on how this goes. And
Yeah,
again, if you don't
we
listen to
got
the Punk Rock
connections.
MBA, if you don't watch his YouTube videos, I would totally watch him. I'd check
Oh,
him out.
okay.
He's also on Spotify too with this podcast. And but what they're saying, so they got to make money somehow. So I try not to hold it against them because VIP does help them. But again, like you said, when you just see somebody at the table, bro, that is, you get to talk to them, you
Life
get
changing,
that spark.
especially when you're a kid. And
Yeah,
you know how like culture how together closeness everyone is in the post metal scene. Like when you see somebody that you literally listen to for hours and hours out of the day, it just brings so much spark.
yeah, that
I
was
want
the
to give up
sickest part
to
of Warp Tour, yo.
yeah, Warp Tour is always dope. I want to talk about Chris Motionless real quick. that's
Yeah, all right.
that's a role model right there. When you talk about a standard lead front man that's modest, humble, all about inspiring kids and all stuff like that. Chris Motionless from Motionless in White is literally like the man. He
I would
remembers
totally agree with
everybody.
that.
He fucking remembers everybody. I met him like a good 4 times. Every time he came to Connecticut, he was like, "Hey man, good to see you again." I'm like, "Good to see me again." You fucking know
Uh,
my face still?
I would not want that guy to remember me after Warped Tour 2016. I don't know if you were there, but that
Oh,
was
I wasn't there.
embarrassing. You remember when they
What
had
did
to
you
stop
do?
playing?
Oh, I was there actually. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
there.
that was an
Oh,
accident. I accidentally, the guy, there was a guy behind me. I didn't see him, and he caught my elbow. So, and I panicked, dude. I didn't know what the hell to do. I was like, oh shit, this guy's like shaking. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to
right.
signal. I'm like, stop the fucking show, guys. Stop the show. You know, this guy needs help. And then
Yeah,
you remember that they're like, what? They're trying to figure it out, you know. And of course, you know, they did get that guy medical attention, but I would hate for Chris to be like, you're that bastard. But
yeah.
he's such a genuine dude. I remember when the this band saved my life thing was a thing, and then he was
Yeah,
just like eventually gets, and I was questioning, I was kind of confused about it. You know, it gave me some like negative ideas. I was like, wait, so in order for this band to be my favorite band, they have to have saved me, and my favorite
right.
band Sum 41. So I'm like, well,
Yeah.
all their songs about drinking pizza. I'm sorry, drinking and pizza. So I'm like, how did what? You know what I mean? I'm like, how does that work? And then one of these days, Chris Motions is like this idea that somebody else has to save you. It's BS. And if you guys pulled yourself through a dark spot, that was not my band or any other band. That was you. Take credit for your own strength
Right.
and getting yourself back together and getting on your feet yourself. You did that. It was not any other band. And they kind of
Right.
put the power back into, I guess, the hand of the listener and kind of stop that whole thing. Not that there was necessarily anything wrong with it, because you know back in 2002, 12, when all that was when that was really big, you know, you have all these people that are kind of lost. You know, I mean, the alternative community. I mean, there's a lot of a lot of mental illness that goes around, and a lot of
Oh
these
yeah.
people just look for a role model, and they look for somebody like Chris. So to have somebody like Chris say, "Listen, bro, you need to give yourself credit," is also something powerful that he probably doesn't get enough credit for.
Oh yeah. That's such a big deal. Mental illness is never really talked about enough, and it really should be talked about as much as it possible, because you don't understand how much you can just change somebody's mindset on trying to get on trying to see what they can do to help themselves just by talking about it, especially in the black community, because we're always
Oh, what do you mean
expected
mental
not to
illness? You
have to
gotta,
go there.
yeah. What mental illness, bro? You got food you got food on your plate. You got a roof over your head.
Yep.
Depressed about what? What are you sad about? What do you mean?
When I was your age, you know what the fuck I was doing.
I had to fight a bear with my own hands to feed my family. You kids today have it good.
Yo, they love getting on the generations, man. They love it. My
Yo,
dad still
facts,
be doing
bro.
that today.
My
Like, you
mom, bro, she's like right off the boat from Haiti, man. She'll
oh,
tell
awesome.
you, bro.
Oh yeah, she
She will tell
revolutionary.
you. Exactly, bro. She will tell you. She will tell you that we got it. You know, there's what depression? What do you got to be sad about? You know.
Yep, yep. So Pull the Curtain definitely came from a Sum 41 song, right?
Oh, without a doubt, dude. Are you kidding me? I
Nice.
There was another name for the band I really wanted. I wanted it more than anything. And Colin's kind of like in charge of making sure he keeps my corniness in line. He's
Okay.
like, my guy, that's just cheesy. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's what I'm serious. When we're throwing lyrics back and forth, like his main role is to tell me what sucks and doesn't suck, you know. So he's good for that. He can criticize without like, some people are like, wow, this is fucking lame. Like I said, that other guy, I would say, hey, dude, what do you think of this idea of this song? And he would literally say, this is gay or this sounds gay. And I'm like,
Oh God.
what does that mean? How do I improve my song? Are you
Yeah, like
telling me that my
what are you
song has
talking
a
about?
great fashion sense? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand what you're saying to me, sir. Please. And these are the kind of people I have to work with before working with my brothers. So I appreciate them for that. But yes, definitely came from a Sum 41 song. It was like the only name we could agree on. It was like it's one of my favorite songs. It's an underrated song. I've seen Sum 41 a million times. They refuse to play songs from this goddamn album. I don't know why, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I never heard them ever play this song live, but
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, oh, this is like an archive right here. It's, but
It,
they are definitely one of my tops. The Used is my favorite band right now. I guess I keep changing, but it's definitely The Used for about 7 years strong. It's been The Used, and then Sum 41 is definitely in like my top five. Like
I've
I
been on
just
such a big The Use kick lately. I feel you on that.
Yeah, I fucking love that band. They're so fucking dope. I just got another used T-shirt because my other one broke, not broke, but it got like messed up, not thrown away.
Yeah.
Just got another one. So happy about it. Rock
I
that
actually
shit.
think I have a an Escape the Fate shirt that you gave George. Either that or you had the same shirt. It's like
Uh,
sitting in my room right now. It actually
so
got
there's a
ripped at
story
a
on that.
huh?
There's a story on that. Is that one
Yeah.
ripped up?
Yeah, it got ripped. Yeah, but mine got ripped because somebody grabbed me at a concert. Somebody was like falling, and I guess they grabbed my shirt and it ripped.
And it's like gold and black, right?
Yes.
Holy fuck, it survived. I thought George set that on fire.
Why? Why would he do that?
We were just fucking around.
Nah, dude.
So
I
you
got
have
it.
that shirt?
I have that shirt. It came full circle, man. I have that shirt. It was like one of my first band tees. I think we were gonna go see Escape the Fate. I think they were playing with like Hollywood Undead, and I didn't have an Escape the Fate shirt. And he said you could wear mine. And then it ripped, and he's like, "Well, I guess it's yours now."
Damn, man. Yeah, the woven texture is so stupid. I don't like how they just put like woven cotton or whatever the hell it's called. It's just not really good. And you
Yeah.
sweat a lot and it's nasty. But they got better fabric now. They've been upgrading, or maybe I just been spending better money on it on the shit.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
possible.
But
That's definitely an investment that they make. They have to decide, because I've been doing that. I've been like, do we want the American Apparel or do we want the Gildan tee? And then, Colin and
right.
Vincent are really into fashion, and they're like, Gildan to them is like a dirty word. Like the
Uh
standard Gildan tee. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
so they're like, no, American Apparel. It's not much better, but we'll do it. they're
So
they're they're
where can
snobby
people
about it.
find your merch? You guys
Oh,
have merch?
yes, we do. The merch, it's in the I guess if you type in Pull the Curtain band merch store, you'll find results. But it's like sitting there in the link is in our bio on our Instagram. It's right there. We're running out of hats and beanies because everybody keeps buying them. I have to send out a new order. Or the same friend bought a shirt, then she bought a hat, then she bought the other color we offer for the hat. And I'm like, damn, girl, you buying the whole store. But that's support, man. That's how it
It's
starts,
dope.
dude. And word of mouth and like your friends, the support you get, it's crazy. Just shout out to them real quick.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast because like I know so many fucking people now that do a lot of great awesome shit. And I want them to fucking like get on my podcast and let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Cuz
you got to get the boys out there, man. That's I'm telling. It's so important in my opinion. Not that like I know what's in. It's not like I'm the master of the universe and I know exactly what's going to work and how to pop off. But I just feel like having a strong network, having nobody's going to play their first show and like sell out the room like 40,000 people show up. But when the Webster says, "Hey, sell these tickets," and
right.
15 of your friends pop off and pop up, and maybe you can get a few more people to show up, and you got 20 people to show up to your first show, and those 15 are your best friends. You know what I mean? Like having a group
That
of friends
feels
that will
great.
come. Yeah, because you also like venues require you so they can make their ends meet. They require you to sell as many tickets as possible, and some of them have minimums.
Right.
Minimums that they want you to meet. If you got 10 friends that are like 110% down to come to every single show and support you, they'll spend the $10 to pull up and watch you play your corny song for 20 minutes. On a Friday night you will always meet your minimum, and not having to stress about that is such a good feeling. So I guess, with you and your podcast or, any friend that'll buy a t-shirt or whatever it is,
Hell yeah,
that
man.
support it's just, it's valuable.
Now let's talk about the EP real quick.
Yeah,
Counting Sheep. First of all, great EP. I
thank you.
think that's a very good concept of a breakout album. Well, not a breakout album, it's a breakout EP, but very good. I found myself listening to that on repeat a, a few times. So,
Hey, thank you.
so whenever it's like on repeat with me, I'm definitely like zoned in. You know what I mean? I can see why. I can see why you guys have so much like a good following right now because your music is really genuine. Um, are you the main writer, or do you have like co-writers for that project?
Now, like I said, I had to write the EP alone. You know, the only person
Mhm.
that had an influence in the instrumental process is Wiseman, who serves the role as a producer. You know, and it's really great having him there because he taught me how to write in the first place, so he knows exactly which sound I want. You know what I mean? I never have to say, "Can you make the drums sound more like?" You know what I mean? Like he just knows exactly what I need, knows what I want, or I'll write a riff, and he's like, "You know what? If you play it like that, like this, it sounds similar but better." Or I remember once he was like, if you have the option, always play it like this because it sounds brighter. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the?
Right.
You're right. You know what I mean? And like just his direction with you know, and like a lot of people are embarrassed to say, oh yeah, I had help with this, or yeah, the producer had an influence. Any artist that's going to tell you that every band we know has a producer, like John Feldman from Goldfinger has had his hands in the biggest albums we can think of. I think he just worked with Trippie Redd recently. You know, like
Wow.
this guy is big.
Wow.
He's no less. But what I heard what he does is, you know, when you go to him, he tells you, bring me like your best 2 or 3 ideas, and then he'll like leave and then come back with the full song. And that's how like a lot of these bands work. So don't let anybody try to tell you, no, I wrote everything 100% on my own. I had no help.
Right.
So yeah, in that regard, Wiseman is the only person that helped write the instrumentals because I wrote the instrumentals before I had bandmates. You know, with lyrics, I'm gonna be honest, like I can't sing. Colin isn't much of a writer. And but he can criticize what I write when it's corny. But if he was, when he does have ideas, they're fire. The chorus for Glass Bones and Paper Skin, that was his
Yes.
idea. That
Yes.
chorus
That
is
shit
the
was
catchiest
fucking
chorus we
fire.
got. Yeah. So when he
When the
has an
fuck did y'all
idea, it's
record that
good.
video? When did y'all shoot that video?
That was 20 summer of the very. It was basically like fall 2019. It was like basically September. So like the end of August, early September. We filmed that. So Colin definitely. You know, he had a little bit of influence in the lyrical process, but not the most. Mostly where he like he again he keeps me in line with what's cheesy and what's not cheesy, but that's something he's working on, and hopefully that'll make for better vocal melodies, because where I struggle is the melodies. You know, I'm really bad with writing melodies, but maybe that's because I can't sing. I don't know. And then there's Vincent. Vincent is, I'm the lead player for this band, but I don't even know why. The only reason why I am is because I wrote the music. Vincent is easily the best guitar player. Well, out of the, when even when there were 3 of us, he's, you know, he was the strongest one. Because even our bass player was just, you know, he was originally our bass player, but then we let go of the guitar player, and then he became the other guitar player. But he knows his music theory in ways that I don't. So now, like for writing songs, I'm kind of pissed off about it, but it came out. It's for the best. I wrote
Nice.
a song. It was all done. I had lyrics ready to go. And then he was like, I don't like this one note right here. Like it's in key, but it just sounds off. And then we changed that one note. And then he added something. I was like, okay, that sounds fire. And then next thing you know, we changed the verses for the whole song. We changed 2 verses. And I'm like, damn it, now I gotta rewrite lyrics. But the song came out so much better. So in the end, so like now that's something that maybe Wiseman would have done when we got to the studio, but you know, I had Vincent there before I even got to the studio to make these changes. So now it's actually something I have to get used to, because I feel like I'm a novice. I'm really new to this stuff. I'm new to songwriting. Now I'm also new to writing with people. So the new songs we've been working on, it's still got a lot of me in it. When you hear a riff, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, that Richard wrote that, because you could tell from the EP. But there's definitely a little bit more of Vincent in the newer songs that we're working on, just because I'm
Nice.
getting his input here. I'm still, for the most part, I'm still writing a lot of these things on my own, but then again, after the fact, showing him and the others, and then we're, you know, he's, I guess, we're collaborating in a way. It's just a weird process for me. And then, of course, as a writer, a talented writer himself, there's entire songs that we're going to drop later on down the line. And you're going to be like, this sounds like nothing they've ever done before. And that's probably something Vincent wrote because our influences. So when I say I love My Chemical Romance, I'm talking about Thank You for the Venom off of,
Oh,
Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. And when he says I love My Chemical Romance, he's talking about Teenagers or Mama from the Black Parade. And it's the
oh
same
yeah,
band, but two very different sounds. So when
yeah.
you hear something from Pull the Curtain that sounds way out of left field, you know that was Vincent's influence right there. He's actually not too bad. He was trying to get into Berkeley. He kind of failed there, but there are some things he taught himself how to do because of that goal. And he's pretty good at melodies, which again is where I my weakness. So there's a song, and I love the instrumentals, but god damn, it's hard to write to. And so far, this guy like wrote the bridge lyrically and the chorus. And I'm like, why didn't? Where's this talent been all this time? After the others exited the band, he just started doing more and showing us more like that he had these talents and abilities. I'm like, he could literally hear a song and like write out the vocal melody on guitar, like he's like, this is what I think it should be, and it'll sound great. So he's definitely, I guess, making himself more and more valuable every single day. So I really
That's dope.
appreciate that guy. So yeah, the writing process now is slowly but steadily becoming more collaborative than it was with the EP. Hopefully that doesn't make us sound too different. You know what I mean? Because when the idea was solely coming from my vision of post-hardcore to something that three guys shared together,
Right.
that it could take a big turn. So I hope that whatever we do drop in the future, people are still feeling it, and it still has that pull the curtain sound, maybe just a little bit more evolved. The idea of changing sound for any band is like usually like a nail in the coffin unless you're Bring Me the Horizon. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't even know how the hell they even make it. Um, I haven't listened to their last album, so maybe
Yeah.
I need to figure out what they did. But I get why bands change their sounds because over time, you mature, and you just not feeling the vibe that you're feeling at the moment.
Maybe Blink
Paramore
182 didn't
definitely
want to
shocked
write.
me.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Maybe Blink didn't. They got tired about writing "fucking your grandmother." You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were.
you remember that?
Maybe we should
I want
stop
to fuck a
bringing this
dog.
up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were crazy. I remember when I
Yeah.
saw them in concert. I was like, "Wow, you guys are old."
Well, old ass dudes, and they got that. Or there was one. I think it's when you fucked grandpa. When you fucked grandpa, did you tell him that you? I don't remember the lyrics, but the point is, yeah,
Imagine listening to this and you're under 18. Like,
yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm 16, and this is effing hilarious. But you got it now. Like I just saw them at Warped Tour 2019 at the final Warped Tour at Atlantic City, and you got these like 40, almost 50-year-old dudes singing about like bestiality and like old people sex, and it's just weird, man. You're
oh,
like,
fuck.
well, this is pop punk, you
Yep,
know?
yep, that's what it is. Um, People like to keep like I was teasing my guy Upton about Green Day. He's like because he doesn't like Green Day. he's like
I don't
he's
know
like
how, but
yeah. I mean if people like it, then they like it. Oh my god, the guy is fucking hilarious. But like I just lost my train of thought on what I was about to say about that.
maturity in bands.
Yes, yes. Green Day shows a lot of that type of dynamics of how they switch their sound up a little bit and and how they changed from like straight up like a hard almost like a hardcore punk to just like a pop punk and then they were experimenting with just punk and all that stuff. It definitely shows how they can change and stuff. So I just
Mm-hmm.
wish the fans, because this is for you, Richard. I wish your
Mm-hmm.
fans just stick with you no matter
I really
what
hope
sound
so.
you do. Because with Light Warriors, we don't really have a genre. We devil from reggae into hard rock, from hard rock into hip hop sound. Um, and I just freak out about like what if like this is not going to be the buzz that Light Warriors is used to since I'm like 2 years into it, and what if this won't be the buzz? But it ends up being a buzz. I just feel like as long as you put your heart into it and don't try to do it just to make it hit, you're still gonna have your fans, Richard. No
Somebody
matter
tell Adele to remember that. Somebody tell
what.
Adele to remember that. Did you hear the new album?
Yes, I did. I did,
How did
and
you feel about that?
I didn't listen to it again.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I have a lot of love for that band. They're definitely one of my favorites. But again, like Bring Me the Horizon, I'm one of these people who stopped really listening. I didn't enjoy Paternal and everything they did after that. But I know that it rose them to like mainstream popularity, and they're immensely popular right now. They
Yeah,
went viral on TikTok. I think they've got like
yeah,
8 million listeners, and a lot of the scene bands we were into in high school can't even hit 1 million. You know what I mean? Like,
no, they
the Word
can't.
Alive has less than 1 million listeners on Spotify.
Yeah,
But you have Bring Me the Horizon. From like Moss the Flames or Miss May I, these bands don't have 1 million listeners, and Bring Me the Horizon has 8 million listeners right now. So
insane. What?
I don't like the change, but
That's
hell,
almost
dude, it's
mainstream.
working.
That's
Yeah.
almost mainstream. Wow.
And it's, you know what I mean? Like, I can listen to a song and be like, this isn't it for me, but I can tell that this is good music. Like, this is well written. They definitely have talent. Bring Me the Horizon are those guys that like they can change their sound and it still sounds good, and it still has tons of soul and heart. And like the Day to Remember album just didn't have any identity, but like you said, you got to put your heart into it. And I love those
You got
guys,
to.
but they said heart means everything on from those who for those who have heart back in 2005. I think, I don't remember when that album came out. um but I feel like they might have forgotten that aspect, that whole heart aspect. So it's exactly as you said, man.
Yeah, I mean, when listening to Breaking Benjamin, like they're not as popular anymore, but I still listen to them because I can still sense that they want this shit. I can still sense that they are putting they're all into their music right now, even though they're not as big as they were when they first came out, when they first hit. And I just feel like if I get a sense of like these bands still like grinding, then I'm like, okay, you guys definitely got a good project here. And it could only have like 100 listeners, but it'll be like, dude, that's a dope project. You know why? Because I was head banging my ass off when I was listening to it. And there's a lot of like, now they're like doing, how they're doing now with the sounds and with the like trying to add like electronics into
I
their
actually don't
music
listen to
now and
Breaking
stuff.
Benjamin, so I'm not aware of that.
Oh no, no. Oh well, I was just talking about how good Breaking Benjamin still is,
Oh,
but
okay, yeah,
now segueing a little bit, my bad, into like how
that's
they're
all
trying
good.
to add like auto tune and all these type of sounds into this shit, and I feel like that's killing a lot of bands can't do that, and but it's popular, so they're trying to like get people to like listen to it, but I'm just like, no, stick to what you know. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
need.
staying relevant. It is. I guess it's like a balancing act. I'm talking here like I'm like some music guru who has been
Yeah.
around and been a hit in the industry for like 1,000 years, even though I'm pretty new to it all myself. But just from what it seems, it's just like it's just not something everybody can do. I guess Bring Me the Horizon should do like a workshop course on how to change and evolve without making everyone hate you. You know, because they
And
definitely, yeah.
like rock fans, they definitely start hating you once you drop an album
Oh,
that's shit. Like you can't always have hits. There's gonna be a shit album here and there. There gotta be, and you're human. But it's like once you drop one shit ass album, you done lost
bro,
like
there's the wrath,
millions.
man. Did you see Attack Attack came back and everybody's slamming them with memes and they're
Yes.
responding? This one guy tagged Attack Attack on my just on my newsfeed, and Attack Attack is in this man's comments, like
Oh
going
shoot.
toe to toe. And I'm like, yo,
No,
where do y'all
don't do
find the
that.
time?
Don't do
What
that. That's
band?
the last
Yo,
thing you're gonna do. Block them if
Block.
you don't
I
want
don't
to see
know,
them.
man. It was funny, man. To think as a fan, could you imagine saying, "Yo, Kanye West is crazy" or "Kanye West sucks," and then Kanye responds like, "Yo, score up. Where you at, fam? Yo, come outside. We ain't gonna jump you." You know?
I'm the modern day Shakespeare. You can't say that to me.
Yo, facts, bro. Kanye came back with that. You'd be like, "What happened? This is a fever dream," you know?
Well, Richard, we are almost in the hour past our podcast, but I want to end it right here since I have another guy lined up and I got prepared.
Oh man, sorry about that. That's what happens though. You know, when
Yeah.
it happens, you can't just talk about music and say, "Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up quick, man," because it's a
No,
rabbit hole.
but definitely you're a friend of the show. Definitely want to have you come back. There's a lot we could talk about, man. And it's just great reconnecting with you again from like our childhood and shit like that. Like
Yeah,
it's
definitely, we'll
so
have to
great.
link up when all this ends, bro. When all this, I'm vaxxed now. I got the cheap vax, the J&J, so it doesn't really. I don't know. I'm not gonna put myself in the line of fire because it's only 66% effective. But
Yeah.
once everything's safe, man, we definitely got to play a show. We got to link up, whatever it is,
Yeah, let's
man.
do it. Let's fucking do it. So this my boy Richard. I got all his links to his band Pull the Curtain. Check them out. Very great band, up and coming band. Thank you to everybody for listening. This is Jabari VOC Podcast, and everybody have a good day.
Thank you.
Collectively transforming community, peace in our human family, volume in unity, divine light shining individually, collectively transforming community, peace in our human family.
One love, one growth, as above, so below. Feel the pain in my soul, the red pill dissolved. Organized, no matter the cost. Politicians start wars, they don't fight, they sit the poor. And nothing lasts forever as long as we stay together. Give hell to the masses, watch the unity rapture. This is for the kids and the culture. It's one love, one growth, one light, light warriors.